Hi, OhSheReads here, and welcome back to my channel. Let's see, I just want to make sure that I'm on. Okay, I am. I know this was very short notice and very random, and I hope some of you guys will have a chance to come join me. Let's see, if anyone's here, please kind of say something in the chat so I know that you're here. But I know most of you guys will probably catch this on the playback. It is very random. I just decided to hop on here and do a live and just catch up with you all really quick. And I did not feel like taking out my camera equipment, and I did not feel like editing a video because I knew that if I went through all that trouble, got out my camera equipment, edited a video, who knows when you guys will see it, because the editing part just seems to just really stump me. I have about 4 videos now that are waiting to be, completed and posted for y'all. They're filmed, but it's just the editing portion for some reason really seems to just, that's where I fail. So I just wanted to hop on here, do a live. I felt that that would be best. Let's see here. Yes, Ted Ryan, always here. Oh my gosh, 7:30 p.m. Where are you, Ted? Anyone else who's here, please reach out. But otherwise, I know a lot of you guys, like I said, will catch this in the playback, and that is just fine. But I kind of wanted to do like a little life update, answer some of the, or rather respond to some of the comments that I've been getting on some of my, I say my most popular videos, but just in general. I've been very absent from the YouTube space as a creator. I've been very present as a viewer, but I've been very absent as a creator. I haven't really been responding to comments. I haven't really been posting recently. And I don't really have an excuse. I just haven't really felt like it. So that sounds terrible. But I've been so focused on my own life and just things going on that my hobby, which I love so much, I love talking to you guys, connecting with you guys, sharing, my creative side and my love of reading and all that. I love doing it, but for whatever reason, these past several months have just not been ideal for that. Oh, you're in the UK. Awesome. Okay, Ted. Yes, I am doing well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? Okay, so really quickly, how has a little writing update? My writing, it's been a struggle. I'm at the point, according to my writing timeline, where I was supposed to have like kind of started to wrap up researching and start getting back into the draft. And I have not even gotten to the depths of researching yet. So even though I made this whole plan and I made everything very detailed and logical and outlined everything for myself, I've decided that I'm going to not necessarily abandon the plan, but I'm going to use it as a very loose guideline to follow for the year. And I've decided that I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't get to certain things when I thought or when I said that I would. How about that? So that's number one with the writing. With my reading, I haven't been reading as much as I usually do. I usually read at least 3 to 4 books a week. I know that sounds really extreme, but I'm a very fast reader. But I would say in the past several weeks, I've been struggling just to get even just through one book. Dr. Creative is in the house. Hey, thank you. She said she loved my hair. He or she. Thank you so much. I just got it straightened earlier today. So, okay, so I have been struggling to get through this book. She Would Be King by Way Moore. Has anyone read this? Can anyone give me some advice on what this is supposed to be? This is supposed to be a story about Liberia's, whatchamacallit? I don't want to say revolution, kind of. Liberia's fight for independence, and it's supposed to, okay, here we go. It's supposed to, it illuminates the tumultuous roots of Liberia. So that is kind of what is supposed to be taking place in this novel through, like, gosh, this almost reads like a folk tale with magical realism. And I'm trying to find the best way to describe this and the way it's written. But I've been having the hardest time, and it's ironic because this is my book club. For those of you that are unaware, I have a book club here on YouTube, on BookTube. It's called A Seat at the Table Book Club. I do it with two really good friends of mine. We have a live show. We have a book of the month, and then we have a live show to talk about it. And this was our book of the month for February. And our live show is actually on Sunday. So if you guys are going to be around, tune in tomorrow night. I want to say it's 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, so we're going to be having a live show to discuss this book. And I'm having the hardest time getting through it. The beginning was very convoluted. I was listening to the audiobook, actually. Sad story. I was listening to audiobook. I usually love audiobooks. An audiobook is read by the author, which I really enjoyed because you get that authentic Liberian accent. It's just authenticity. Everything's great. Well, it was so hard for me to get into it via audiobook, and I was so confused by what was going on that I actually DNF'd the audiobook and ended up getting my credit back from Audible and ended up just ordering the book instead, because the audiobook, guys, and I'm like an oral storyteller type person. I love hearing and listening to stories. It's probably one of my, if not my favorite way to consume stories. And it was so hard. Let's see here. Sorry, my webcam is frozen, so I just want to make sure. Oh, I did freeze for a bit. Oh my gosh. Technical difficulties. I'm so sorry, guys. But what I was saying is that it was so hard for me to get through this via audiobook that I was like, I have to see the words with my own eyes to kind of get a grasp on what's going on here. And even reading it, it hasn't gotten any easier. And it's not that I'm confused in the sense that I can't comprehend what's happening. It's that I'm confused in the sense that I don't understand why the author chose this format to tell the story, because I don't believe that it is cohesive, and I do not believe that it is in the best interests of the story and what she's trying to portray. My thoughts are all over the place. You will hear my complete thoughts if you join us for the live show tomorrow night, because I'm still not done. This one's been hard. And when I, start reading books that I'm having a tough time with, it can often put me into a reading slump. So I think it's fair to say that I'm in a mini reading slump at this point, because I've been struggling to get through this, and this has been my priority, and it's tough, man. Let's see. Popcorn Cheesy's in the house. Awesome. Let's see. Ted says you're currently listening to Widows by Linda LaPlante. How are you enjoying that? What type of book is that? That sounds interesting. Widows. Okay, and I've been reading a lot on my Kindle, as always. I can talk about that a little bit more in a reading wrap-up, which I am planning on doing. I think I'm going to do them quarterly this year, because monthly is just too much. So I think I'm going to do them every 3 months. I will do a reading wrap-up. Instead of talking about all the books I read that month, or for the 3 months, I will talk about the books that I liked and I enjoyed the most, and the books that I did not enjoy the most. So my most favorite and my least favorite. So I think that will be interesting. All right, getting into some of these comments. Let's see. Okay, so the first comment is something that I want to address, because this comment kind of, I don't want to say it triggered me, but it definitely frustrated me. And this is the comment that kind of made me want to do this live, where I respond to comments. And this is a comment that was made on my Black Booktubers Always Quit is Booktube Racist video, my response video. And it's written by Sunni, not sure how to pronounce it. But here's the comment. Yet you identify as Nigerian-American and not Black American. You are Nigerian, not Black American, and that's okay. But you come from a different perspective in which even in your bio, you differentiate yourself from us. were you actually born in Nigeria? So this comment was really frustrating, and I wouldn't say it was a negative comment. I mean, I respect and I appreciate everyone's opinion and perspective. For those of you who haven't seen the video, I basically just talked about Black booktubers in this space and the disparity between Black booktubers and other booktubers, mostly white and Caucasian booktubers, and the disparity of booktubers of color face in general. But I specifically focused on Black booktubers in this particular video because I'm a Black booktuber and I can only speak from my own experience and perspective. And I was also addressing certain, things that had happened in the community. I don't want to really go into it. You guys can go check out the video if you haven't. I'm sure most of you have seen it. But essentially what this comment is saying is that I don't have the full rights to speak on Black American issues because I identify myself as Nigerian-American, and more specifically, I put that in my bio, and so therefore my perspective is so different that, I don't even know if I'm putting into words correctly. I don't want to put words in this person's mouth, but what I got from it, right? The way I took this comment is, well, you have a different perspective than Black Americans. And, even when this person said, but you come from a different perspective in which even your bio, you differentiate yourself from us. And right there is the divide. Us versus you and other Nigerian Americans, Jamaican Americans, Liberian Americans, et cetera, et cetera. And this is something that I have encountered before, where there are more divisions placed. We're already divided, and then more divisions are created. And I'm not saying that I have the same experiences culturally or life experiences as a Black American who is a descendant of American chattel slavery, so that there's the difference. I was born in Nigeria, to answer this question. Sanai, if you ever see this, I was born in Nigeria, and I lived in Nigeria until I was 7 years old. And then my parents, my immediate family, my parents, my brother, and I immigrated to the United States. And I am now an American citizen, and I've been an American citizen for some time. So culturally, I'm mostly American because I was raised in America. Culturally, I've been treated as a Black American because unless you meet me and you get to know me, and obviously my name is a big giveaway, you don't, I look like a Black American. You don't know that I'm Nigerian American, right? I lost my accent a long time ago, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm very proud of my heritage, and I'm very proud of my background. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Just like any, person from any other country would be proud of their heritage and their background, and they immigrate to the United States and they become an American citizen, and now they adopt America as well as a nation, and they adopt American culture, and they're proud to be American as well. It doesn't mean I'm not proud to be Nigerian, but I'm also proud to be American. Am I a Black American? Technically, yes, because I'm an American citizen. Am I a Black American who's a descendant of American chattel slavery? No. So 2 different histories there, and I acknowledge that. But I don't think that my experience now is that much different, right? I think what's different is the history. I think that there's a lot of weight in that history. And there's a lot of pain that while I can empathize, I will never fully understand, right? Because that specific history is not my own. Now, in Nigeria, we have our own history. We have dealt with colonialism with the British, and that's a whole nother topic as well. So I don't know why this comment frustrated me so much. I guess it was just that place of, how dare I speak on this issue when I don't identify as Black American? Well, how do you know I don't identify as a Black American? Actually, I do identify as a Black American. I just don't identify. I'm not saying that I'm a Black American that is a descendant of chattel slavery. I'm saying I'm Nigerian American because I'm proud of my heritage, and I will always be proud of my heritage. I will always be proud of my roots. I will always be proud of that cultural side of me. I don't know if I answered that very well, but let's see what you guys are saying. Serpentine Creative says, Black is not a monolith. Everyone's experience's perspective is different. Exactly. Even Black Americans who are descendants of chattel slavery have different experiences in this country. It's just so frustrating. And that comment just really just made me shake my head. Like, why further divide us? Why? Why? Okay, so let's see here. This was an interesting comment. So this comment was on my Zenith rant review, which actually I think I did pretty much a year ago, because I think I did this March of 2018. But this person says, okay, so this is Ugly Girl Does. This comment also made me kind of like pause for a second. It says, this is an extremely vicious review / rant. I'm not saying it isn't warranted. I've never read the book. Just that this is one hell of a takedown. I thought that was interesting because out of all the Zenith rant reviews I watched last year, after reading Zenith or attempting to read Zenith and before making my video, I felt like mine was the least vicious and the least takedownish. I made a great effort to be very clear on the point that as a fellow writer, I will never demean another writer. I may not agree with what's going on. I may not like their writing. I may not like their work, but I'm certainly not going to disregard the efforts that goes into writing a novel, right? I'm always going to have respect in that sense. So I think I made it very clear in that video. I also made it very clear that I had nothing against the authors, Sasha and Lindsay. I had nothing against them personally. I thought that they were lovely. I had been watchers of their channel at one point. So I think I also went through great lengths to kind of the disclaimer, right? The famous YouTube disclaimer. And I felt like my review was very fair and balanced. And also, I think I made it very clear that personally, I did not enjoy the book, but other people may, and that's fine. I don't know. I thought that out of a lot of the reviews, mine was probably the least vicious. And, but to each their own, I guess they felt like it was vicious. Okay, let's see here. What other comments? Okay, so this comment is from a live that I did almost 2 weeks ago now with Brittany from Melanin Eclectic. And it said, this is the title of the live, we have thoughts, Black trauma porn, book Twitter BS, and I can't remember the rest of it. What else was this? You could find it when you go look on my channel. And this comment is from Luna Bean. Hi, Luna. It says, thank you for speaking on the whole Twitter thing. I swear if people researched the truth instead of instantly just reacting to things, there wouldn't be so much drama on BookTube. I loved this discussion and loved hearing your thoughts on different topics. Thanks so much, Luna. I'm going to love that comment because I love it. But basically, that was a very, very therapeutic live stream. You guys should definitely go check it out if you haven't watched it already. Brittany and I talked about a variety of topics, and what sparked the idea for the live and what Luna Bean is talking about is the Twitter trauma, book Twitter drama about Michelle Obama, I guess, did a panel. I think it just happened, actually. I think they just posted it like a few days ago. But she did a panel, and she invited some YouTubers. And the booktubers she invited were like the bigger booktubers and white booktubers. I think it was Kat from Katie-tastic, Jesse from Jesse the Reader. Those are the two that I can recall. If someone else was there, please jog my memory. And then there were also Black YouTubers, specifically Black female YouTubers, not booktubers, just YouTubers. And then one MTV VJ, I want to say, that were invited to the panel to meet Michelle and talk to her and all that good stuff. And I guess there was this whole drama on Twitter that, once again, Black booktubers were being excluded, XYZ. And when I heard about the drama, and I disclaimed this in the live, I am not on book Twitter. I'm not active on book Twitter. I did not see the tweets, so I couldn't speak too much to that. But from the gist of what I got is that people were angry once again, and they made it seem as if no Black individuals whatsoever, no people of color whatsoever were invited. And that's not the case. It's just Black booktubers weren't invited, but Black YouTubers were. And it's like, we've already talked about this. We've already hashed this out. They're not going to invite booktubers that do not have a larger platform. And not a lot of Black booktubers have more than like 50,000 or so subscribers. So it's a marketing ploy, but there were Black YouTubers invited. So it's like, where's the outrage? You know? So that was just silly. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so Lucy Reads brought up a good point. Same video. Okay, with the Michelle Obama thing, I don't think people were specifically mad because it's a new thing, because you're right, it's old news and it's happened before and will happen again until magically more Black booktubers gain numbers, but more because it is a reminder that it keeps happening and that it's upsetting for people. And I appreciate both Josie and Francesca Ramsey, the Black YouTubers who were invited, and actively love their content, but the panel/show is called BookTube, and they are not booktubers. It is so bad. Is it so bad that people want Black people actually within the community it's named after to be a part of it? And to answer Lucy, I do not think it's so bad. I just think that we have to stop getting so outraged every single time this happens. I think that it's unfortunate that Black booktubers specifically were not invited. I think it is unfortunate that Black booktubers do not have the numbers and the subscribers and the engagement to be considered, you know, one of the top contenders for these types of situations and events and opportunities. I think that's, you know, unfortunate. But I also think that things are changing. I think that, you know, we are coming together as a community, not just Black booktubers, but all booktubers of color. We're all reaching out together and our allies. You know, we're forming coalitions. We're starting book clubs. We're doing readathons. We're doing things, right? We're getting this machine off the ground, and we are kind of focusing on building ourselves up and building up our own community. And whoever else wants to participate and be a part of it, that's great. Whoever wants to support, that's awesome. So many people, you know, were part of the Blackathon. It was amazing across all races, ages, you know, all types of different booktubers were a part of that. So that's just a small example. You know, my book club is doing really well. So I think that it's time to take the focus off of this outrage. So much energy is expended being angry, right? Okay, be angry, but also start to do something about it. Also make moves. Also, like, start to turn the wheel, to turn the page, to make some changes. And I guess that's my perspective. It's not that I'm negating the fact that people are upset and that this keeps happening or that this is shitty. Yeah, that's terrible. But that's just not where I choose to place my energy. That's not where I choose to put my... Even just talking about it is exhausting. Like, yes. Be about it, honey. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Oh, some great comments on this live. So Art Nunyamis says, I hate to see you spend so much time being judged. When you catch a guilty person dead to rights, a lot of time their response is Darvo, deny, attack, reverse, victim. Example, Brett Kavanaugh's whole life being permanently ruined by false accusations. Recent example, Mark Meadows, I'm offended that you're calling me a racist. Please have your discussions and tune out the haters, no matter what their motivation may be. This comment is much appreciated. Thank you so much, Art. And this comment was basically spoke to the fact that on the live with Brittany and I, we spent an inordinate amount of time basically lamenting the fact that we may we may face like harsh criticism for the topics that we discussed and how honest and vulnerable we were being about just very touchy, dicey things. When you start talking about race, when you start talking about socioeconomics, when you start talking about politics a tad, things can get kind of uncomfortable for people and people can decide to be offended. So we were basically just talking about this disclaimer culture that we have on YouTube and on BookTube. And we were kind of afraid of the judgment that may have come our way based off of what we were saying and how honest we were being. I am very happy to report that I have received almost little to no negativity on that video. So just a lot of insightful comments and just a lot of good energy. And that's why I wanted to respond and I wanted to address a lot of these comments, because I do really appreciate all of the people that took the time to comment and to give their point of view and to like drop their wisdom, right? Okay, so this is Read, Love, Listen, also talking about the whole book Twitter Michelle Obama situation. She said, I don't know what went on, but in my opinion, it seems they chose the Black women panelists due to their content speaking about race, culture, and Black women, and the big booktubers for the book views and opinions. Twitter is toxic. Another comment I'm going to like. I agree with every single thing that Read, Love, Listen said. Okay. Let's see here. My friend She the Writer says, oh my God, this is the discussion. I've had a lot of these feelings without really knowing how to articulate them. I've always felt so weird about like Muslim stories. Like I want to be able to present without, I want to be able to be present without being the picture of the victim or the overcomer. I feel like I'm not saying this right. You guys, the live was lit. You have to go watch it if you haven't. Okay, so on my Write With Me Wednesday, February's write-in video, Agent McDonald, who I always appreciate you stopping by my channel, commented, so many projects, you're a machine, where do you find the time? So he was just commenting on the fact that I do seem to write a lot of projects a year, and I don't know where I find the time. I really don't. Before I went full-time at the job I have now and I got a promotion, I was part-time. So that gave me a lot of free time. And then at one point I had 2 part-time jobs, which sounds like it equates to a full-time job, but they were on opposite schedules. And then my second part-time job was at a spa where there was a lot of quiet downtime. So I would write at the front desk a lot. So I just found pockets of time where I could. Now I will say that now that I do have a full-on full-time job, that I'm working all these hours a week and that I'm really enjoying, like, don't get me wrong, I'm really fully enjoying my job, and it's becoming a career without me realizing that it's becoming a career, which is a little strange. It's been a lot harder for me to find time to write. So now I'm understanding when writers who have full-time day jobs and full-time careers outside of writing are like, oh my gosh, I have to force myself to get up in the morning early to get my writing in. I have to write on the weekends. I just have to force myself. I have to unplug my internet, unplug my phone, like go into this zero dark space and just like get it out. Or I have to stay up late, and I'm drinking coffee and I'm chugging caffeine and staying up late to write. I'm starting to understand that perspective a lot more, because that looks like what I'm probably going to have to do. Let's see here. Okay, so this is an interesting comment by Sneak015 on the Black Booktubers Always Quit is Booktube Racist video. Let's see here. Booktube, being a microcosm of the real world, doesn't surprise me in its racist and separatist mentality. Frankly, I come to Booktube most specifically for Black content creators. I've realized that nobody is for us, period. So Black and other POC creators tend to get my first looks. As you said, I feel most comfortable with those who are more likely to represent, look like, think like me. I know all skin folk and ain't kinfolk. That's where I begin. So great comment. I don't even feel like I need to respond because everything that was said was very clear. Let's see. It's so good to finally like address a lot of these comments, you guys. Okay, another one from that same video by Sharon N. First of all, I agree with all you say. Second, I am from Germany. When I started Bookstagram, for instance, I was afraid to show my hijab because I thought people wouldn't like me. Then I discovered it didn't matter. We are just talking about books. Now I can't understand why race is an issue when Booktube or Bookstagram or anything is just about a common hobby. And at last, you are so pretty. Thank you. That's so sweet. You know, that was kind of my attitude when I first started BookTube back in 2014. I never even thought about it, the race aspect whatsoever, because reading has always been something. Well, first of all, I've always had friends of all races from all different backgrounds. I just always have. Second of all, reading has always been something that I've shared with people. Reading has always bridged the gap, right? Reading has always been a passion that I've had, that I've shared with people from all walks of life, all ages, you know, people who were even not even friends, maybe classmates or acquaintances or whatever the case may be. Once you talk to someone and you find out you like the same book or the same author or the same genre, it transcends all of this surface stuff. So when I started BookTube, I never even thought about that. I never thought about that whatsoever. And then when, you know, I started to get like troll comments that were racist, when I started to see how my views weren't as many as other content creators and booktubers who started the exact same time as me, sometimes the same day, the same week, and they were growing and they were just doing like book hauls every week. Or one girl didn't even post for like 6 months and she gained like over 600 subscribers, and I was struggling just to get to 100, 200, 300 subscribers. So little things I started to notice, and to be honest with you guys, I never let it get to me, because I never started this to be a YouTuber. I never started this to be famous or gain popularity or fame or any of that. It was literally just something I've always wanted to do ever since I started watching YouTube back in 2010. At first, I knew I wanted to be a part of it, right? I went to school for acting. I'm a creator. I'm a writer. I'm just a creative person. And it looked like a fun way of expression and also like connecting with people. And I joined because I didn't even know how I was going to join when I first started watching YouTube. I thought for the longest time that I was going to be a beauty guru because I was really obsessed with makeup back then. Outgrew that. Ended up finding BookTube. I knew. I was like, this is it. Did NaNoWriMo. It was a very organic way that I joined the community. And it was honestly, for me, it was an outlet for me, a creative outlet, hobby. There was no ulterior motives whatsoever. So even though I noticed all of these things, even though I noticed that I wasn't growing as fast as other booktubers that were not of color, even though I noticed that I wasn't getting as many likes or as much engagement on my videos, I wasn't getting as many subscribers or views, all that stuff that we've talked about, I didn't care. I was just excited for the people who were subscribing, excited for the people who were commenting, excited for the people that were engaging with me. And I focused on that, and I focused on the positive. And I did that for years, until at some point you have to stand for something or you're going to fall for anything. At some point you have to pick what you're going to stand up for and what you're going to speak on, and not just ignore something and hope that it's going to go away. And you have to choose to take action. And maybe you won't solve the problem, but at least you're going to be contributing something that's going to be positive, that may pave the way for other people who do want to do this as a career and are, you know, content creators of color. Maybe you can open the door, maybe you can change the mindset or pave the way or smooth out the path for those who do want to be the next Katie Tastic, or for some reason I can only think of her today, Jessie the Reader, or whatever the case, you know, and they feel discouraged because of their skin. Like, that's crazy to me. And it's like, okay, well, if I can somehow plant a seed, change the tide, change the culture, influence in a good way to make it possible for that person that does want that to see that it's actually something they can do, then I think I'm doing a good thing. Just saying. Let's see here. Okay, so this comment was on my Thank You Next book tag video. I talked about how much I really, really loathe The Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld. And KK Chapman recommended, if you want to give Scott Westerfeld another chance, I would recommend Afterworlds. And I remember that was the book I was talking about in that video, where Afterworlds was being hyped on BookTube at one point, to the point where it was just crazy. Like, all the big booktubers were talking about it, hauling it. Maybe they had some deal with the publisher or something. Now that I know more about the way this community works in the marketing, that's probably what it was. But it made me very curious. But I wanted to start with something else. I didn't just want to dive into Afterworlds, because I don't know if y'all have seen that book, but it's freaking huge. So I started with the Ugly series, and turned me off so much from Scott Westerfeld that I lost interest in reading Afterworlds. So I will say KK Chapman, I will probably never read Afterworlds. Well, never say never. It's highly unlikely. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is on my 25 bookish facts about me video. Amy Griffiths had some questions and comments. She said, number 1, you missed Logan. He was Marianne's boyfriend, right? I mean, I read the Babysitter's Club books 15 plus years ago, but I read a lot of them. So I don't even remember what I was discussing where the Babysitter's Club books came up. But I guess about how I was like obsessed with them as a kid. And I was trying to name all of the characters. And I was trying to name off all of the babysitters, and I couldn't remember them. And I did forget Logan, who was Marianne's boyfriend. Number 2, what did you think of the recent BBC version of Little Women? I thought it was beautiful. I loved it. Oh my gosh. I watched it January, I want to say. Oh, enjoyed it so much. It was beautiful. Number 3, yes, for growing up with Harry Potter. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you guys know or may know a lot about my moving chronicles. I've been trying to move for like the last year or something crazy, and it's been a saga. But I'm currently looking at different places, and oh my goodness, I looked at this one place, and let me just say the biggest selling point of this place is that there was like an under the staircase cupboard storage closet thing, and it reminded me of where Harry stayed. Oh my gosh, it was really funny. And even the person who was showing me the space was like, "Oh my gosh, you even have a Harry Potter closet." And I fell out. And I told her, I was like, "Is it sad that this is a major selling point for this apartment?" But seriously. Let's see. Number 4, she says, couldn't agree less about the bad boy trope. Thanks for your video. I don't know if she meant agree less or agree more, but I went on a whole rant about the bad boy trope, which I will not go into here. You can go check out the video, 25 bookish facts about me, if you haven't seen it. Okay, so this comment is from Cindy Bowen, and she's commented on my Blackathon TBR video. She said, I love your channel because I always hear about books and authors that no one else is talking about. Keep it up. You guys, that is seriously the mission of this channel. I don't know when I became like an indie author, independent publisher type channel. It just organically happened, I guess. This channel was started off of, you know, me doing what was popular on BookTube, reading a lot of YA books, hauling a lot of YA books. And I've slowly drifted from that because I can only talk about what I read, and I don't really read that much YA these days. I don't even think I've read a YA book this year yet. Have I? No, I haven't. No, I don't think I have. So, you know, you can't talk about what you're not reading. At least I don't. So I read a lot on my Kindle. I love to find new authors. I love to support. Here comes Teddy, about to ruin my life. Teddy. I love to support independent authors and independent publishers because they really don't get the support that they should. They don't get the shine. They don't have the same marketing machine behind them. So if I find an independent publisher or indie author that I love that writes great books, I'm going to talk to you guys about them. Absolutely. Let's see. What else? Okay, Love is Breathing Still commented on my 25 bookish facts about me video, and she says, I just came across your channel today and subscribed. I love that you said you would maybe be a librarian if you could do it all over. It's not too late. There's still time. I'm in the process of becoming a librarian now. I work part-time in a library, and I'm going for my master's of library science. I have to say it's one of the absolute best decisions I made. I came from a corporate job before this, so it's a total breath of fresh air. I'm loving my courses, and I can't wait to make a career out of my love for books and reading. Oh, I'm so happy for you. This is amazing. Congrats to you. Congrats. I'm so glad that you're chasing your dreams and doing something that is really going to enrich and benefit your life. And I would absolutely be a librarian if I could do it all over again, or if you know, this was like another world or another dimension. Right now, I just feel like I'm so on the path of just getting this writing thing off the ground that I don't think I have the energy to also study to be a librarian as well. Let's see. Okay, Left on Read, love her and her channel, says, commented on my Blackathon TBR video, and she said, what it means when a man falls from the sky rocked me. I loved that book. Each story was like emoji. What emoji? Like the sad face with the little water drop. Anyways, such a great list. Oh my gosh, What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky is probably going to be on my list of like my favorite reads of the year. I'm calling it now. Titan HC, I love her. She says, one day, well, actually, I don't know if she's still using those pronouns. I would say I'll love them. One day there will be gay, non-contemporary Black stories like these. That'll be my fucking day, man. Amen. I talked a lot about, what did I talk about in my Blackathon TBR video? Just non-binary characters and authors that write like gay romance, gay fiction, non-binary characters. I don't know. I keep saying non-binary. That's the only thing that comes to mind. They need representation too, and there are a lot of great authors doing it, but I don't know if it's not enough authors or not enough authors that are getting the attention that they need. Probably the latter. Okay, Serpentine Creative, I'm about to read your comment. Says on my Black Booktubers Always Quit video, just started my channel, and after scrolling through all the discussion posts, this was a refreshing take on the situation and gives me hope for my channel. Stella Williams. Okay, Stella, I finally know your name. This is awesome. Oh, I got to go check out your channel, girl. It's exciting. Glad to give you hope. Okay, Luxurious Blue commented on my Blackathon TBR video. Love when Luxurious Blue comes through. Oh my gosh, Black is on my TBR, which I just put on my channel today. Black is a graphic novel. Definitely go check it out. I'm excited to read that and hear what you have to say about it. That and Not Otherwise Specified and Under the Idolatries, which I've considered reading before. And you're not alone. I always hear the cast of High School Musical singing for that final challenge. You are very cool. Oh, you're so sweet. I will say that I am going to be doing a special wrap-up for my Blackathon TBR reading experience. So I can't say when that will go up because the way my life is going, it may not be for like another month. But I am doing a separate special wrap-up just for the books I read during Blackathon / Black History Month. Let's see here. Some more comments. Well, what are you guys saying in the chat? This chat is lit. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Ted, you answered my question about the book, Widows. The crime thriller, Steve McQueen recently adapted it into a film. Oh, the Viola Davis movie? It's a book? What? The book is being read by the original lead actress from the British TV series. Yo, I gotta check it out. I never saw the film, but it sounds really interesting. Ted continues, I may not be the right person to say on this, but this other perspective in the comment creates a divide. Your perspective is your own and your experiences are your own. Stella agrees with me from Serpentine Creative. Stella, right? Yo, I'm so bad with names. Yes, Stella. I had to go back to your comment. Stella agrees with me and she says about the Zenith review. I didn't think mine was harsh. She agrees with me. She says yours was not harsh compared to others and you gave valid points. Ted agrees. I thought your Zenith review was one of the few respectable reviews that made good points. Not respectable. Oh my gosh. Abigail says your review was the most balanced and fair of that book. It was why I subscribed to you because your thoughts were so well thought out. Thank you. Hey, Charity. What's up, girl? Let's see. Ted continues. We had a similar discussion when booktubers were invited to the Hate You Give set as extras, but there were very few diverse booktubers. It doesn't help getting mad, though, so I see that. Hi, Robin. Robin Loves Reading is here. Okay, Sun Nai is in the house. Teddy's trying to get to my snack. Okay, Sun Nai, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, says, greetings. No need to take the comment I made in a bad way or feel it was unkind. I hope you don't. We are not both Black American descendants of slaves. Again, nothing wrong with you being Nigerian. Oh, wow. Thanks for coming through. I'm not angry. It's just I'm not angry at you at all. I did not take that as a personal attack or anything. Like I said, I respected your perspective and, your thoughts. Let's see. Sunai continues. Thanks for answering my question. My Black experience is different from yours. Everyone's is, but I wouldn't/cannot differentiate myself in any way from other Black people who are descendants of slaves. Who are descendants of slaves. Okay. Okay, that's completely fair. And, I actually appreciate that you made that comment because it gave me the chance to really speak on that side of things. And, for anyone else that may have been having similar thoughts or similar feelings, I always think this is why I love just genuine, open dialogue and communication. No one needs to get mad. No one needs to get offended unless people are being assholes, which you are not. We can just share our perspectives and just listen to each other and respect one another's views and learn from one another and keep it moving. That's the vibe and energy I love to have on this channel. And I'm so grateful and thankful that you guys create that for me and that we create that together. It's great. HTHTV3 says, think if the person leads with their talent first. Wait, what? What is this in regards to? Think if the person leads with their talent first. I'll be well in prose, however, in the art. Okay, you got to explain that comment because I'm confused. Sunai replies, you're welcome. I subscribe to your channel. I appreciate your coverage. And I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Such a healthy discussion. We try, Ted. We try to have healthy discussions here. Okay, Dana Gollin asks, are you doing Camp NaNoWriMo in April? Great question. I am not. I'm going to eat my snack, which is what Teddy really wants. That's why he came up here. Teddy. No. 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 This is a special Nigerian thing, or at least I think it is. I don't know if any other West African countries specialize in this, but it's basically fried dough in a nutshell. We call them buns. My mom makes them. She's been making them since I was a kid. And it's literally just sugar, flour, milk, mixed up, and then fried dough. And Teddy's obsessed with it. And he's not really supposed to eat it, but I sneak him little pieces, and now I've created a monster. I'm about to get rid of him right here. Okay, bye. Thank you. But anyways, oh, Camp NaNoWriMo. I already answered that. No. The reason for that is that I would just rather focus on, Teddy. Pause, you guys. Teddy, come here. Teddy, come here. Come over here. Come on. Calm down. I really rather focus on just getting this draft done from my NaNoWriMo 2018 project. I'm really passionate about this story, and I just want to focus on it. Not to say that Camp NaNoWriMo won't help me focus on it, but I guess I just want to take a break from NaNoWriMo. And I'm not sure if I'll even do it in this fall. We'll see. But I just need a break from NaNoWriMo. All right, I'm going to answer a few more comments, and then I'm probably going to end this live because Teddy's getting to that place, and I cannot deal with this for long. Books and Fro says, okay, what video is this? Blackathon TBR. I love Not Otherwise Specified. I got it from the library a few years ago, and I'm pretty sure I read it at least 10 times before I had to return it. It was such an important read then and still so important now. The Poet X is also fantastic. I love it, and I remember being so excited about Black when it was first announced, but then I never heard anything else. I am so hyped to see it in the world. Lovely comment. And yes, Not Otherwise Specified is lovely. I recommend that one to everybody. And the Poet X was very moving. Okay, She the Writer says, maybe this is cliche of me, but I just finished rereading Citizen, and everyone needs to read it. It's so interesting and subtle. It really gives a great picture of racism, not even of racism, but of what it is to be oppressed in a free country. It's just so well done. After hearing her talk so much about Citizen on the live that we did together, which you guys should go check out on my channel, I'm now like, it's on my TBR now. Let's see. Any other interesting comments? Okay, this is Mel's Bookland Adventures. She states on my The Integrity Behind Reviewing Books video, I will never understand why people get offended when a reviewer hates a book they love. We all come to each book with our own experiences, likes and dislikes, and so we cannot all like the same stuff. And I'm so grateful for that comment, Mel, because I've often thought that book reviews can be very... Book reviews are tough, right? Like, I was first introduced to book reviews as a kid. 3rd, 4th grade, you read a book and you have to do a book presentation / book review in front of the whole class. Some rubrics and guidelines our teachers gave us. Let us know the plot of the book. Let us know when the book took place, what time period, where the book took place, right? And who the characters are. What happened? Why did it happen? The rising action, the falling action, right? Then you got to talk about some tropes. Then you got to talk about some symbolism. Then you wrap everything up and you kind of say your thoughts on it and what you learned from the book and what you thought the book was trying to say and what it was trying to teach you, et cetera, et cetera. So we start off with that. Like most kids who went to any type of like public school or school system started off with that kind of rubric for book reviews. Then we move into being adults. After having some of us gone through higher education and having to write papers on books, maybe in English class or in university, whatever the case may be, having to have a thesis statement and 3 paragraphs outlining this, that, and the 5th, then we come out of that system. And now we're reading purely for pleasure. A lot of us also read to learn and inform ourselves, but that's also pleasurable if you're doing it, you know, for your own enrichment for yourself. And now we have Goodreads and we have, you know, Amazon, and we have all of these online retailers where we can leave our honest opinions and our review of this book. And honestly, we all come into a reading experience with our own experiences and biases, as Mel stated. And that greatly impacts our opinion on how good that book was. There are certain things that are non-negotiable, like grammar, syntax, like voice. Some writers, their voice is not the best for what they're trying to articulate in their novel, right? Or in their book, whether it's a nonfiction or fiction. Some writers have to find their footing, have to find their style, have to find their groove, and it takes several books, etc., etc. And so book reviews for me are tough because you have to have some type of self-awareness, right? When it comes to book reviewing. For me personally, I know that my book reviews are 90% emotionally driven. For me, whether I enjoyed a book or not may not necessarily have to do with how well written the book was, you know, well written according to all these guidelines. It may also just have a lot to do with how I connect with that book and how I emotionally felt towards that book. So I know that going in. So when I'm talking to you all about a book, I know that my feelings towards that book, my review, if you will, is so emotionally heavy and emotionally laden with just how I feel about that book, you know? And so I'm self-aware enough to say, hey, I feel like this book is well written. I feel like the author is very talented. I feel like XYZ, I really liked this, that, and the third. But personally, I didn't enjoy it all that much. I didn't connect to it. I didn't connect to the characters, XYZ. For me, at the end of the day, my review on a book is going to heavily depend on my emotional connection to that book. That is how I am. That's just how I review books. Other reviewers may not necessarily be the same way. They may care a lot about the way the book is actually technically written, the subject matter, the execution. And not to say that these aren't important things, that But for me personally, I care more about my connection to the book itself, my connection to the story. So that's why I like to say that I'm more of a storyteller than a reader in a sense sometimes, because a compelling and good story, an imaginative story that I connect with emotionally will get me every time. And that will be the majority of where my enjoyment is coming from. So I rate off of enjoyment sometimes, just 100% pure enjoyment. So it's why I can read like a self-published book that maybe wasn't as carefully edited as it should have been, or a Wattpad book that wasn't, well, most of them aren't edited at all, and thoroughly enjoy it and thoroughly feel as if it's a 3, 4, or even 5-star read. And someone else will not be able to get past, the grammatical errors, will not be able to get past the imperfections and enjoy it, because for them, their basis of reviewing books is based off of something completely different. So I say all that to say that comment just really, I love that it's there, because we forget that sometimes. We forget that we come to books with our own selves and our own experiences and our own ideas of what it means to review and rate a book. And that is always what is going to impact a lot of reviewers. So I take book reviews with a grain of salt, to be honest with you. Yes, if a book has a lot of 1- and 2-star reviews, I am very wary of that. I take note of that. I understand that that is a huge indication of whether I will enjoy the book as well. Some things are just universal. But at the same time, I like to see for myself, because I know for a fact that there are certain books that I will love that other people will not love. So I'm pretty good at judging that, though. I tend to only recommend books to y'all that I feel like most of the time, most of y'all would probably enjoy it if you chose to pick it up. So let's see. Also on the integrity behind reviewing books video, the other Christine that reads says, I love this video and think it was a great choice to organize your decisions/values about reviewing. It is hard not to be biased when reviewing, but we have to do our best to be objective about the author and our personal experiences and focus on the work. Yeah, if I'm going to do a formal review for y'all, you're going to be getting flashbacks to 3rd grade, because it's going to be I'm going to try my hardest to be as unbiased as possible. That's why I think self-awareness is important, because I'll be able to tell you, hey, I really emotionally connected to this book and I freaking loved it. But let me talk to you about the facts. Let me talk to you about, certain things that I feel this book fell short on, certain things that I feel like this book excelled on. For me, a 5-star read is not a perfect book. It can be, but it's not always, Let's see here. So many great comments. I wish I could respond to them all, but I probably shouldn't, because this live would take forever. Okay, so Edwin Peng made a great comment on that same video. He says, thanks for being very honest and informative about your book review policies and critiques of other book reviewers. As a struggling new YA author, I've definitely grown cynical of the entire book review industry. It's refreshing to have bloggers like you to have this conversation. I really appreciate that comment, because I feel that here on BookTube, I'm trying to find a way to say this without sounding bitter, because I'm not bitter, but I guess I'm just kind of giving the side eye to the part of the community that is so marketing heavy. And I understand that BookTube has become a job for a lot of booktubers. And I think that if you've gotten to a point where your job is literally to read books and talk about books, and you love books, how could I be angry with you? That's amazing. But I think that with that crossover into money being involved and your livelihood now being involved, there are certain stipulations that these booktubers have to follow. It's almost like being a puppet on a string. It's like you're not free anymore. You don't have the freedom to say what you want to a certain extent. You have to remain advertiser friendly. So you may not always get the opportunity to be wholly honest. You have to focus on the positive about a lot of books, because you can't be overly negative, because then certain publishers won't want to work with you. You can't be honest about certain authors. You can't be honest about certain books. You can't even do book reviews, really. You can do wrap-ups and you can do book hauls, and they certainly want you to advertise and to encourage your subscribers to go out and buy a book or read a book, but you may not necessarily have the freedom to be as honest as you would care to. And that's the issue, I think. So when it comes to book reviews a lot, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. There are very few booktubers who I trust when I watch their book reviews. Trust that I'm going to get an honest opinion. And most of them are below a certain number of subscribers. You know what I'm saying? And I also think that there is a certain level of obligation involved when you are receiving a book from a publisher free or a review or to show in a hall. Well, if it's to show in a hall, then it's like, okay, great. But when you start receiving books from publishers for free, and I'm not talking about the sponsored posts, right? The sponsored posts, you're being paid when you have a sponsored post. A lot of times when you receive a book from a publisher, you may not be getting paid. They're just sending you a book. So it's like you want to keep the lines of communication open with that publisher. You don't want to be too controversial, right? You want to remain advertiser friendly and PC so that you can continue to receive books from that publisher and you won't get taken off the mailing list or whatever the case may be, because they know they can count on you if they want to take that step further and your channel continues to grow and they want to take that step further and now they want to start paying you for sponsored posts. They're like, we can trust that this person is advertiser friendly, isn't overly negative, isn't going to rock the boat or be too controversial. Y'all, these are just things that I've noticed. So if you have someone who has that mindset and that's their end goal, okay, so they're getting books free from publishers, but you can't trust their reviews either. You see what I'm saying? Y'all. Let's see here. I think I'm going to stop there. There are so many comments. Books and big hair. India, I love her. Left a comment. What video is this? Oh my gosh, this was a month ago. 25 bookish facts about me. You are so pretty. Oh, India, you are so sweet and you're pretty. We have a lot of the same bookish facts. I grew up in the HP era, Harry Potter 2, and I loved it. I made a whole video about it a few years ago. I saw that video. I love that video. I don't lend out my books either. No, do not lend out my books. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to wrap it up now. It's been about an hour. It's been a good hour, right? I've responded to quite a few comments, and I would love to continue, but like I said, this video would be, or this live would be so long. Let me check out the chat. Okay, so HTV3 explained. Earlier when you mentioned non-binary person, I think too many lead with their sexual orientation first to generate interest in their art. Again, lead with talent first. Good point. Sunai says, excellent topic. My husband and I were just discussing how we came up with our reviews. I too rate off of various factors, but emotional ties exist, especially to take it beyond 3 stars. Hey, Jocelyn, welcome. All right, I think I'm going to wrap things up, you guys. Thanks for joining me on this very impromptu, random live. It has been great. We've talked about some things. Teddy is starting to look psychotic, so I think it's time to go. But I will definitely be doing more of these. I really enjoyed this. Sorry, I keep looking over to the side, but that's kind of where I can see myself on this monitor over here. But yes, this was a great discussion. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll definitely do this again soon. I'm glad I could talk about some things and get to some of y'all's comments. And I promise I will try to get some videos up before this month is over. At least 2 videos, you guys. At least 2. I will finish editing them. I will post them. Promise you, I would not let y'all down. And I will catch you guys on Sunday. I will catch you guys on Sunday on my live. Come join me, Brittany, and Troy Nicole as we discuss this. Oh, before I go, I was going to unbox something. It's been so long since I've done a haul. I just wanted to give you guys a taste of something. I haven't been buying as many books as I usually do. Ooh. Okay, what is this? I wanted to unbox it because I wanted it to be a pleasant surprise for both you and I, because I think this is a pre-order and I do not remember what it is. So let us find out together. Ooh. Yay! Oh my gosh, I've been wanting to read this. It's upside down. There we go. Yay! Queenie came. Okay, this is Queenie by Candace Carty Williams. I will read the synopsis for those of you who are unaware. Jojo Moyes blurbed this as brilliant, timely, funny, heartbreaking. Bridget Jones's Diary meets Americana. And this, you see this dog? You see this? Teddy, this live is almost over. Chill. Bridget Jones's Diary meets Americana in this disarmingly honest, boldly political, and truly inclusive novel that will speak to anyone who has gone looking for love and found something very different in its place. Meet Queenie Jenkins, journalist, catastrophist, expressive, aggressive, dramatic, loved, lonely, relatable. Her boyfriend has asked her to leave their apartment. Her boss doesn't seem to see her. Her Jamaican-British family doesn't seem to hear her. Her best friends try to help her. The series of men she meets online treat her hideously, and yet she doesn't stop seeing them. Queenie is in a spiral. But Lord, but what makes this heartbreak? Can't read. But what makes this breathtaking debut novel so fresh is that this is a spiral mostly of Queenie's own making. The world isn't just happening to her, doing her wrong. Instead, as Queenie careens from one questionable decision to another, she finds herself wondering, as we all do these days, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Who do you want to be? With humor, heart, and honest Jojo Moyes prose, Queenie is a darkly comic and bitingly subversive take on modern life that will have you nodding in recognition, crying in solidarity, and rooting for this unforgettable character every step of the way. Hashtag I am Queenie. When I tell you I have been wanting to read this, and Candace Carty Williams is giving me everything, honey, in this picture. Everything I need. Oh, I'm so excited for this. And with that, I will go before Teddy attacks me and this food. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. See you all Sunday. I want to say it's 5:30 p.m. I want to say it's 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Definitely hit the bell so you get the notification. We will be discussing She Would Be King. Pray for me, y'all, as I try to finish this up. And I will see you guys next time. Let me just make sure nobody said anything in the chat. Okay, good. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining me. Mwah.